I'm not a morning person, so hopefully this will work out. Got fuel. Thanks to CreativeMornings for having me. Thanks to ECU Arts Depot for letting me in the building. There was a time when I was not allowed to ECU property, so it's nice to be here. It's cool. So, transparencies. When Grant approached me about this idea, I was like, well, I don't use transparencies a whole lot in my work. But I assume everybody knows, even if you've never used transparencies, you've probably seen coffee shop, clear thing, print out black ink on it. I guess, for me, in my line of work, a lot of mine is mural work, and a lot of people, a lot of people use transparencies to project the image up on the wall. That's something that I try not to do, just because it takes, you create the image out of context. You're not creating it at the location, and you're not really interacting with the environment. So I feel like it generally creates an image that doesn't connect with the environment. So occasionally when I do use them, there's the clear kind, and then there's the kind that has the white edge. I guess that's so when it runs through the printer, holds it better. But you use the transparency on the overhead projector, and just like when you're in elementary school, throw the image up on the wall, and that's that. Everyone's gonna stick this out. Yeah, I know it's transparency. Transparency is hopefully my dad joke here. It'd be awful. I'm not an idiot, so we're talking about clear pieces of plastic. Put those over here. Yeah, when Grant approached me about the topic of, we brought a couple topics when we first got together for coffee and talked about doing CreativeMornings, and transparency was one that he, was available for the rest of the year, and I was like, that one, I'm down with that. Because that's really something that I strive for in the work that I do. Just like this dude, UCK. There's a reason that people really connect, find what UCK does to be so funny, and I think that's because he's completely honest. He's real about his flaws and faults and all the terrible things that happen in his life. And there are things that everybody goes through, and that's why comedy like what he does really connects with people. Another comic genius. When I got started thinking about this topic of transparency, it's what it really boils down to is being honest with yourself and honest with other people. And I just kept thinking about this scene in Zoolander where Derek's lost his award and his whole life is in shambles, and he's staring at water in the gutter, and he's like, who am I? And that's really the root of transparency to me. That's where you begin, is figuring out being completely honest with yourself about the skills you have, about the good things you have, but also about the stuff that makes you a human being and it's ugly and sucks and you're ashamed of. So 12 years ago, I was sitting in an 18-hour lockdown unit, sitting in a cell. Me, when I was a 21-year-old, scrawny little white kid, sharing this cell with a giant, terrifying dude who's just starting a 10-year sentence for crack cocaine distribution. I had been paying the word refuse on other people's property, and this is really the time when I first started asking myself, who am I? Because for a long time, for many years prior to being arrested, I traveled up and down the East Coast, painting refuse or refuse to be smart, which turned out to be somewhat prophetic. Painting my silly moniker on other people's shit, and it's really how I came to define myself. I was a kid, I didn't have a whole lot to say. I was figuring this out. Actually, this is on Canal Street in the building that had been, I don't think it still is, I can't remember, Keith Fabray's office. But this is what I was doing. I was traveling around, trespassing, shoplifting, doing a variety of other little hooligan shit that I thought was so clever. And really, I didn't have much to say because I was young, but I was just, this was the simple thing. This would be like, I exist. I can have an impact on the world. I didn't know what I was trying to say at all, other than refuse, apparently. So this is more examples of me as a 19-year-old kid. It's down the shotgun. That's lost now, of course. Atlanta. So this year was really the thing that kind of put the brakes on everything for me. This is a bridge up on 295. A friend and I painted this middle of one night, and a few weeks later I get a Richmond City Police open up, 7 in the morning, boxers roll off my mattress that's on the floor, and open the door thinking it's a joke, and 7 cops with guns drawn. Next thing I know, I'm down on the ground in handcuffs. My girlfriend, wife now, Brianna, she's terrified. She's laying what was happening? Who is the city that I'm hanging out with? And as you can see, it landed me in some trouble. Flash forward 4 months from the day I got arrested, and I had been charged with a stack of felonies, misdemeanors, and it ended up taking a plea bargain and started to serve 10 months in jail. These are the bands they can use to identify who you are. Bob Barker Company, no relation to Bob Barker. The hit television show. So yeah, this is really though the time that, for the first time ever, that I started asking myself, like, who am I? Because the person that I was before this, I can't be anymore. That's me, showing in jail, little self-portrait, sitting on what's called a boat. It's a plastic thing that holds your mattress so that you technically aren't sleeping on the floor. Sorry, details. Get lost in those. Yeah, it was like everything that I had been before that I used to define myself, that I was from here, I was a little like good-ass criminal, and like, oh yeah, not at all. Terrified little kid sharing a room with somebody who's an actual criminal. That was really, stopped and think like, okay, well, what's actually inside of me? What makes me a unique person? What do I have that actually needs to come out? So during the time that I was in the cell, 18 hours a day, get out for a couple hours, you have lunch, you go out in the yard, and I don't know, I'd watch people play basketball and I'd play cards. But what I did to occupy my time was I listened to my mom's advice for probably the first time in a long time at that point. And she had said, draw till you drop. So I started making drawings of what was going on around me, what I was seeing. That's myself, my shoes. That's so all you had is these little suicide pens. You can't stab people with them because they're rubber, they bend. But this is really like what started coming out. These drawings were things that it was just my way of my brain processing everything. And for the first time ever, I was making work that truly came from inside, and that it was me. And when I started showing these to other people, it was funny because I found these to be like these deeply personal things that were about situations I was in. G-Unit block films, just like I was in G-Unit, G-Pod, in the original jail. And they were, like when I started showing them to people, it was strange to me because people really connected with them. And like I said, they were so personal. I thought that was kind of odd, and I realized it's like these were topics that everybody understands. These were, these anger, and isolation, shame, sex, and, politics, ideas, of all sorts of things that anybody understands, whether they understand the specific references or not. My parents, well, they're here. We could ask them. I mean, I think I can partly say, because we wrote a ton of letters back and forth all the time. We've got plenty of time, and not much time for a phone. That's a whole other story. Using a phone in jail is a lot more complicated than it made out to be. They were worried. They were angry. So 10 months go by. A lot of that was work release, which was nice. I was working at a tobacco company. I was doing doubles 7 days a week, so I'd get out of jail in the morning, go to work, put on my tux outfit, go wait tables, and pretend I was a respectable member of society, and then go back to jail and go to sleep. It was a pretty odd situation. And so, at that point I had started, I found some sort of voice. I figured out in a lot of ways what it was that I had to offer. 8 years go by from the time I got out of jail until winter of 2012 when I get this mysterious email from a guy named Carl offering me an opportunity to paint a mural in a restaurant that's going to be opening in Richmond. And this email was just so weird that I legitimately said to my wife, I was like, you didn't hear from me in like 2 hours? I just assume that I've been arrested for something. I don't know what this meeting I'm going to seems like some weird setup. As it turned out, Carl worked for Mellow Mushroom, and he was really just worried that I'd be angry that they were going to the old Plan 9 space. I don't care. Guy from Plan 9 press charges on me. I got no money. That's cool. Yeah, sign me up, man. But the funny thing was, during in that time period, I've been drawing similar stuff to what you've seen in jail. Been showing some work, painted a couple murals and signs around town. But really, I was nowhere near making a living from art, and really hadn't had a solid opportunity to show what I really could offer. And that's something. That's something that Carl and Mellow Mushroom really provided to me. Carl saw something in me in the work that I was doing that I didn't even necessarily see yet. But yeah, he was like, okay, do whatever you want, do you. We're hiring you for this reason. And the nice thing was there was a budget enough to be like, okay, cool, I can spend 3 months working on this project, which I never had an opportunity like that. Just like, okay, I'm gonna. I was talking to Spencer before this, and we were talking about the occasional situation where a client says, "You can do whatever you want. Here's the budget." It's like, yeah, that's a great way to get way more work out of somebody than they'd normally give you if you were like, "Here's what we want for this amount of money." Because, yeah, generally somebody you give them the opportunity, they want to shine. That's how I am. At least it's like, I'm going to take that opportunity and do the best job I can with it. And so that's, that's something that in a lot of ways I feel like I've learned from my wife. Past 10 years, she was, sorry, I'm jumping ahead here. Yeah, I got to talk about Mellow Mushroom first. Alright, so yeah, made this thing. If you guys have been to Mellow Mushroom, you've seen it. It's all hand-cut wood, hand-painted, over 100 pieces attached to this brick wall. It's the most complicated thing I had ever done. I had no idea what I was doing going into this, but that was one of those like I said, just rare opportunities for somebody who offers you this chance. And it's like, I don't play the lottery, so I guess I'll never win the lottery. But this is I feel like probably as close as I'll ever come. Is having there's those chances for somebody who really believes in you and takes a chance. That's the product. Yeah. been in there and seen it. It's 70 feet long, 10 feet tall, about a piece of wood hand cut all there. Essentially, it's like a giant garage. But yeah, where I was getting to, kind of jumped ahead, was that this is that, like, to me at least, like, thinking about who I am as a person, like what skills I have, what I've got to say, and like how I can share that with people in a way that's meaningful and connects with them. But also taking an opportunity that you're given and really trying to live up to that. That's something that, I was talking about my wife, who she's the past decade was a public school teacher and reading specialist with Christian public schools. And she always says that one of the problems is that most people don't expect a whole lot from their kids, and consequently they don't expect much from themselves. And the solution to that really is what she does, which is it's very clear that she expects the world from these kids. And they don't want to disappoint her, and least of all, they don't want to disappoint themselves. And that's something I think she's back there. I feel like that's kind of at the root of this too, is the, like, I guess again, just being true to yourself and knowing what you have to offer and bringing that to every project that you get. That's something that can be like interesting to me in a lot of what I do. So a lot of what I do, again, is how I paint stuff. A lot of walls, murals. It's popular right now. Good for the moment. But trying to figure out that like the right balance of being true to yourself, being transparent, what you're trying to share with the world, but doing it in a public space can be really challenging in a lot of ways to me, because I don't know, I feel like I'm a member of society. I'm not trying to bum anybody out in particular. So there's some self-censoring. I guess that's kind of it. It's like figuring out the bridge between self-censorship and doing something that's purely what you want to do. This is, for instance, in a closed lot down in Manchester. So not a whole lot of people see this. There's no kids walking by seeing this cartoon dog, Mr. Pickles, scalping a hooker. This is actually a show that a few friends of mine, it's on Cartoon Network, or Adult Swim now, excuse me. But I used to live with them here, so. But it was, there's some things in here that may not be like out in the world appropriate. So that's, I guess, the figuring out the level of transparency. But no matter what the project, I feel like I spend a lot of time thinking about things and putting research and study into these projects, things out in public in particular. Just again, I think people respond more, even if it's just visceral, when they see something that has thought put into it. It's like that shows clearly as opposed to just a pretty picture. So this, for instance, so this is Athena, who's on Belmont, across from, like, actually standing on the roof of the library on Belmont. Do you have this picture? The lady who ran the library was surprised to find me up there in the middle of the day taking this picture. But she was stoked on how this piece came out. And this is one of those things where this whole piece to me, it draws from references in the Valentine's collection, it draws from pieces in the BMFA's collection, Richmond's history. This was painted last year, the 150th anniversary of the burning of the city. Athena, goddess of wisdom, arts and culture, military strategy. This amphora is from the BMFA's collection, and in the actual piece that they have in the museum, it's Athena standing over Ajax and pulling out and playing chess, and then got changed into this Union veteran soldier, and they're doing battle on a chessboard. Red poppies, which traditionally symbolize remembrance and the war dead. Yeah, so I feel like people, it's funny because the things I put the most thought into generally are the things that people respond to best, and that says something good to me.
What's your creative process to get to where you end up? How do you concept concept of it?
A lot of that really comes with the space. That's kind of like the first thing that interests me is where, like, if it's a piece like this, if it's a mural of town public or a restaurant or whatever, it's like, okay, how are people generally going to be interacting with this? What do I find interesting about the time we're living in, or this, like what's surrounding, or the history of the building? This piece, for instance, this was painted. This is in Norfolk, and this was painted. I'll show you the big version first. With a friend named James Callahan, who's an illustrator here in town, and it's like the kind of like the obvious things with Norfolk, marine stuff and shipping. We're like, okay, get beyond. You do whatever every creative should do. Is like, okay, get beyond like the first 10 ideas you have, and like, come to something that's more interesting. It's like, so this piece is called Widow's Walk, and it's not completely familiar with the walk on the top of houses where widows stand and wait for their sailor dude to come back from sea after he's drowned. So with this piece, we were just taking that idea of a lost love and using that as the inspiration. So this is my section, and this was sorry, going off my tangent already, getting lost in details. Like this piece, for instance, it's her dude getting pulled down into the ocean, he's getting drug away by the chains of the sea, and there's dog is, so this dog is one of me and Brianna's dogs, Ravanna. We won't give her this horn here. The dog at the top is Chance, and he's writing a love letter. Rosedale, I think that's the fake name that Brianna and I use for our art collector family. I'm Solomon Rosedale, she's Effie Rosedale. One man in the big museum wing and the Rosedale wing. That's the long-term goal. So yeah, you can see I get like bogged down in these details in my brain. But that's, I guess that's kind of it goes with the transparency piece. Like this is like self-reflective me and my family. The idea of losing somebody. Did I answer that at all? Okay. Another piece that seems to radiate with a lot of people. This is the Ashen Lady of the James, which, in case the name doesn't completely imply, relates to coal ash and Dominion and the river being ruined. This was painted at the Street Art Festival earlier this year, and it's on a building that is at an angle. And it was like, so this is like a perfect example. Went down there with Ed, and he was like, okay, like, what spot do you want? That weird corner of that building. Because, do something really cool with the architecture and not completely cover the building. Like, I don't want to ruin all the brick that's there. So you can be, that's you know, it was in that back. So yeah, creating a piece that, people reinterpret this a lot of different ways. And that's totally rad. That's how it should be put at. Again, I guess showing some references to the Hiroshima print, referencing the remote power plant up here looming over the river. And I guess that's this is my buddy Andre Shank. In case anybody didn't know, incredible painter. Remember Andre Shank. This is him. We're working on this mural. This is on Hermitage. Just painted a few months ago as part of the Welcoming Walls project, which is something I've co-created, basically aiming to bring public art to the highways and gateways of the city. And it's something that I thought was important because we've got all this work here in town that people look at it like, what does this have to do with Richmond? This doesn't have to do with who we are, our history, anything like that. So this project, through a partnership with Valentine, the ability to have access to the archives for everybody before they create work. The hope is really to create things that tie to who we are, to ourselves and our history. This piece, for instance, the jumping off point, was its work with, this might be like very obvious, but like, let's do something that like at least starts with the idea of wood. So the dugout conduit, it's in the Valentine's main collection. When you first walk in the main, that's what's referenced here. That was really like the jumping off point, is how tangible culture, history that's in the area that in large part is forgotten about. So many of the awful things that transpired between the times that they lost their way. But yeah, so within this, I guess maybe this kind of illustrates something I'm thinking about. It's like within the context of a piece that relates, I don't know, a wider topic. It's not totally personal. There is personal within it. When we were working, Andre was talking about doing what Native Americans used to do, like carry pouch, like medicinal herbs and stones and things like that. And we're like, okay, well, I'm going to take what he does with these geometric shapes and create essentially almost like a curio cabinet with that, and illustrate items that connect with people who have been in my life who I've lost. So again, like bringing in something that's like deeply personal, putting it in the context of something that's relates to the history of the city. That to me is hopefully what people connect with when they look at my work.
I wanted to ask you, do you have any tips for somebody who is kind of stumbles upon their voice as their artistic style and how to foster it?
Spend 18 hours a day in a cell. Honestly, that's a good question, because I think that is like one of the hardest things. Is finding that time, and especially, I don't know what I would have done coming up in the age of Instagram and Facebook and mass saturation of imagery. Because it's so hard to be overwhelmed and influenced by just everything you see. You can't help it. And also just finding that time to sit down and feel out like, oh, okay, I'm like not so good at public speaking, and I do better with one-on-one, things like that. So yeah, I think. I guess that's where like artist residencies maybe come in. A few that I've done, I feel like you find that space, and maybe that's just setting aside 3 hours on a Sunday that you're like, no one goes away. I'm locked in a room by myself and just sit there and write and draw. I know personally for myself, I keep sketchbooks filled out. Tons of sketchbooks every year, and you're like, oh, that's your book. I'm like, no, because there's no sketches, there's no drawing, it's writing. I write a lot, and that for me, I think, is actually like a really big part of my process, at least in feeling sane. That transitions nicely into our next slide I have, which is, I feel like everybody knows that we have this thing that allows us to curate who you are to the outside world, and show, like, there's tons of people's work that I look at, man, there's every opportunity, doing it, so jealous. It's like, they're sleeping on a couch, and like traveling around the world, but they're sleeping on a couch and living out of a backpack, and like, it's that idea that somebody's got it better than us is totally flawed, because we're just getting the shiny side that they want to portray. And I feel like when people aren't getting that, it's something they respond to, and that's, I feel like that's what we were getting with Bernie Sanders. That was my feeling. Still feel that one. And that was why when my buddy David, who kind of get into all these long political conversations all the time, he's like, "You think Bernie on my building?" It's like, hell yeah. Then that's it. It's like that dude. Even if you don't like him, I feel like you look at him and the staunchest conservative is like, well, he's honest. He's saying what crazy shit batshit ideas he's got. And I don't think they're so crazy, but that I connected with what he was saying and represented, and I think that's why most people did. That's why I was stoked to paint it. Beyond that, to defend it. I've seen. I basically got interviewed by some conservative Clinton Banks website or something about this. Why would you write that phrase? It's like, because it's so how it is, and like not being an asshole about it. He seems like a real human being, and I think that kind of that the root of it. It's like being transparent about the fact that he is a real human being, not polished. All right. I'm gonna wrap this up with one of the heartstrings things. I never wanted to have a kid. I had no interest. This is Maverick. I couldn't be more stoked. This dude, he wasn't in an accident, by the way. I got convinced. I bring him up because he's totally transparent. I'm gone all day. I'm home. Come home to that. So, big old smile. I was like, I know how you feel. You're being totally honest with me. That's why I love you. That's what I got.